Hi everyone, a very good afternoon. My name is Sabiha and today is our last session for the Excel training program. And since it's our last session, we will be winding up the training with charts, graphs. We will also be touching upon the basics of Excel dashboards and Excel macros so that you get an idea about what is Excel dashboard, how can you make a dashboard in MS Excel, and how can you use macros in order to automate your day-to-day tasks in MS Excel. So with that, let us get started. For this, we will be referring to the same data set that has been shared with you all, which has the line chart sheet. So we will be beginning with the line chart sheet. And here, the first chart which we are going to do is a line chart along with a moving average. Now, before I begin with what is a line chart with a moving average, let me explain to you the concept of moving average. For the moving average, we take the value of 1 and 2 and then divided by 2. So it's like this, is equal to sum, open bracket, value of 1 and 2, close bracket, divide by 2. That's the first moving average. Let me change the formatting to general. In this manner, we do is equal to sum, add value 2 and 3, then divide by 2. So moving average is calculated in this particular manner. So it is an average taken of first and second value, divide by 2, second and third value, divide by 2. So that is how we come up to the conclusion of this particular dotted line in this line chart. So for that, let us start with the data. First, we will be making the simple line chart and then we will add the trend line. The first step that we need to take is to select the data. After selecting the data, we will go to insert, and under insert, either we can directly go to the line charts category or we can also go to the section of recommended charts. Recommended charts will give you chart-based recommendations on the data. I repeat, it will give me chart-based recommendations of the data. So click on recommended charts. And after that, you will see these are the two suggestions based on the data which Excel has given you. Now, what I can do is I can click on all charts. And after clicking on all charts, I can also navigate to the line charts from here. In line charts category, we also have line with markers if you want to go ahead with. But for now, I will take the simple line chart. This is a live preview of how my chart will look once it has been plotted on this particular sheet. Click on OK, and here is my chart. Click on OK, and here is my chart. Come to the corner, increase the size, proportion. Now, there are a few things which I need to add to the chart. The first thing is I need to add a title to my chart. In order to make my title dynamic, I can click on chart title. Then I can go to the formulae bar. After going to the formula bar, if I type an is equal to sign, I repeat, after going to the formula bar, if I type an equal to sign and I click on this cell and hit enter, you will see it fetches the name from here. So I did not delete the chart name. I only picked it up from here and gave a reference. I only picked it up from here and gave a reference. Click outside. Now, if I need the trend line, okay, I'll show you how to get the trend line, but you need to have the line selected, and then from chart design, you can go and add chart elements, and that is your trend line. So before we go ahead, I want you to create this much and let me know in chat box. Please create this much and let me know in the chat box. If anyone has any questions or queries or they want something to be repeated, let me know. Yes, sure. So in order to create the line chart, I need to first go and select the data. I'm not taking the title permanent settlers, but I'm going to take the years, I'm going to take the months, and I'm going to take the value of permanent settlers. Then I will go to insert. After coming to insert, I have two options. Either I can go with recommended charts, or the other option is I go with this particular line chart. After clicking on recommended charts, I will get Excel's recommendation. And Excel will suggest to me what kind of chart I need to make with this particular data. But if I click here on recommended charts and I go to all charts, I can scroll here and choose a chart that I would like to go ahead. So let me choose a line chart, click on the line chart, click on OK. And this is the line chart and I can increase the size from here. After doing that, I need to change the title. Select the title, come to the formulae bar. Formulae bar, as the name suggests, is for functions and formulae. I'll click over here and I'll give a cell reference and hit enter key. And here I have my name picked up. After that, what I can do is I can then start working towards the trend line. So can you try this, everyone? Okay, now for the trend line, I'm going to select the chart. So whenever you want to basically activate a particular tab which is related to something which is on your Excel spreadsheet, what you need to do is you need to select it and then go into chart design or go into pivot table analyze or go into slicer. When you select the option, the tab automatically appears here. And from here, you can choose the option that you would like to go ahead. Now, from add chart element over here, I'm going to come and click on trend line. And here I'm going to choose a moving average. When I click on moving average, I can see a live preview of a dotted line appearing on my chart or graph. For now, I will click on moving average and enable the line. After this, what I need to do is I need to select the line. I need to select the line. See, the line is selected. You can see the line at the corner selected. Then I need to go to format in order to format the line. In terms of formatting, what can I do to the line? I can increase the weight or the thickness of the line so that it is more prominent. I can also go and change the color of the line. And if the line is a dotted line, I can convert it to a line with dashes. So click on shape outline, click on weight and increase the thickness. Again, click on shape outline, click on dashes and choose a dash line. And here you can see that I have created my line. If I want to change the color, I can go to shape outline and change the color. So here, this is my trend. Now, another thing which is there in this sample chart is the legend key. The legend key stands for what are you searching for. So here you have the permanent settlers and here you have the moving average. Now, what can I do in order to enable that over here? I will select this, and after selecting it, under chart, I will go to add a chart element, and from here, I will click on legend, and I can choose the location of my legend. So if I want my legend to the right, I can choose right. If I want my legend to the top, I can choose top. If I want my legend to the left, I can choose left. Since I want my legend to the right, I'll click on right. Now, if you see over here, I am getting series 1 and I am getting permanent settlers. So in order to convert series 1 into permanent settlers, I will need to go and click on select data. And for series 1, I will need to edit the title. So click on edit and here I will pick up the name from here. As soon as I pick up the name from there, you will see permanent settlers is the blue line, whereas the yellow dash line is the moving average. Click on OK. So here under data source or select data, I will click on this, edit it and edit the series name because the values have been taken from the data, but the name needed to be changed and hence I took the name label from the heading of the chart. Please try this, everyone. So, okay, so this is my chart that I have made. Now, in order to enable the trend line for this particular chart, I'm going to click on chart design, add chart element, and here I'm going to go down and choose trend line. In trend line, there are different types of trend lines that I can add to my chart, but for now, I will go with a moving average. Click on moving average and this is the moving average trend line. Select it and from format, I'm going to now come and I'm going to change the weight. So change the weight. I can also come here and change the color and I can change the dotted line to a line with dashes. Click outside over here and I can also enable a legend. A legend is like a key which stands for the items which are represented in your chart or your graph. In order to enable the legend, I will again go to chart design, click on add chart element and click on legend. From here, you can decide the location of your legend. Click on right, and here I have my legend on the right side. Sometimes the label of the legend doesn't come properly. In that scenario, in chart design, you can go to select data. The heading is here, click on edit, and from here you can choose the heading from your data set. The next two examples of charts, we will need to specify the headings. So this particular step will be repeated there. So in case you feel overwhelmed with the amount of information shared in this example, it will get repetitive in the next few examples. Is it better now, everyone? Let's go ahead to the next chart. Let us first understand this chart. Now, in this particular chart, there are two data sets. In one column, I have my data for 2010, and in the next column, I have my data for 2011. What I need to do is, I need to plot this data on a chart, which is here. So for that, I'm going to first select my data. I am not taking my labels. Otherwise, what happens is even departures will get plotted. So from Jan till December, I'm only going to take the data. The labels I will give in the second step from chart design. So for now, I'm only going to select the months, the data for 2010, and the data for 2011. After that, I'll go to insert. And under insert, I can either go to recommended charts and then navigate to line chart, or from this drop down, I can choose line with markers. Click on line with markers, and here I have my chart plotted in front of me. Now, if you see over here, blue color actually represents 2010's data, whereas red color represents the data for 2011. Now, what I need to do is, I need to decide the column headers for this data set. In order to decide the column headers for this data set, I'll go to select data. And from here, series 1, I will give the label for 2010. And then for series 2, I will give the label for 2011. Click on series 1, click on edit, and here I will decide the heading. Click on OK, and here I have the data for 2010. Click on series 2, click on edit once again, click over here and choose the column header 2011. Click on OK, and now I have the data for 2010 and I have the data for 2011. Click on OK, and here I have my chart. If I want to give the title to my chart, what do I have to do? Select the title, go to the formula bar, press the equal to sign and click on departures. Hit the enter key and here you have the title for your chart. So in this particular example, in chart design, we are only exploring selecting the labels. And when you have to decide which is the column, always see this is C column. So obviously this heading will also be from C. Click on this, edit. This is D column. So the heading will also be from D. So in this way, you can cross verify from which column you need to pick up the heading in order to plot your chart appropriately. Please try this example, everyone. I'll just remove the series name. Okay, so when I made the chart, I just had it plotted as series 1 and series 2. The blue and the red line did not have a label or a heading. The blue and the red line did not have a column heading. In order to give the column heading, go to chart design. Under chart design, click on select data. And now click on series 1 and click on edit. After that, see the column which it is referring to. Series 1 is referring to column C. And that is why the name for column C will be picked up from here. And if you click on series 2 and click on edit, it is again referring to column D. So for that, once again, we will pick up the data from and say OK. So you have the data for 2010 and you have the data for 2011. Click on OK and here we have our result. Please try this, everyone. Let us scroll down. Now this is a relatively very simple chart. In this chart, we've got the data for the visitors of New Zealand for the year 2010 and the year 2011. Now for this is an area chart. Area chart over here is a filled area chart. So basically you can call an area chart a line chart and the area between the line and between the axis is filled with a solid color. So for that, I'm going to select the data. So Control Shift and down arrow key to select the entire data. Okay. After that, I will go to Insert and under Recommended Charts, I will go to All Charts and go to the Area Charts section. Click on Area Charts and there are multiple types of area charts. I will go ahead with this particular area chart, which is a filled area chart. So I will go with this, click on OK, and here is my chart. Now for my chart title, all I need to do is click on chart title, go to the formula bar, press the equal to sign and click here. Hit enter and it will pick up the chart title from there. Please try this. This one is a simpler one. We don't need to select the data. We are not even adding the legend because it is only one color which we are referring to. The years are coming down as 2010 and 2011. Okay. So this is a simpler chart as compared to the ones we have done earlier. Once you're completed, let us go to the horizontal bar chart. For the horizontal bar chart, there are two examples in this particular chart. Is everyone okay with this much? Is everyone okay with this much? Can I go ahead? Now, in this horizontal bar chart, over here, if you see, the data is in descending order. The data is in descending order. Or rather, you can say the categories are represented in reverse order. In order to do this, I'm going to first select the data. And after selecting the data, I'll go to insert. And under insert, under recommended charts, I'll click on this particular chart. So this is coming in the section of recommended charts now. So I can choose this chart from here as well. Click on this chart, say OK, and here I have my bar chart. But here, if you see, the categories are not in reverse order. I repeat, the categories are not in reverse order. So what I will need to do is I will have to go here and I will have to go into accesses. So over here, I will see the access options. Over here, I will see the access options. So under access options, okay, under access options, I will have to go here and I will have to change the categories in reverse orders. First, let me select it. Here, vertical category axis. So this is the vertical category axis. So under access options, you will have to choose vertical category axis. Then go and choose access options. And after choosing access options here, you will have to choose categories in reverse order. When I click on categories in reverse order, it will automatically plot my categories in reverse order. So where do you go? You go in vertical category axis after selecting your chart, and under that you are in access options. So let me make a note of this here. So these are the two things that you need to select in order to create this chart. Please try. Please try this, everyone. Please try this, everyone, and let me know if you all have any doubts or any queries. Let us go ahead now and let us talk about using this type of in-cell charts. Now, this particular chart makes use of something which is called as pipes. So, we use pipes in order to represent the quantity in the cell. We use pipes to show the quantity within the cell. Now, how do you go about using these pipes? In order to use these pipes, what I am going to do is, I am going to use something which is called as the repeat function. So the repeat function will repeat the instance that I am suggesting. And basically, we do not take this full number. we divide this number by the smallest number in the range. So for example, if there is 1 lakh over here, I cannot have 1 lakh pipes in my cell. The cell will not be able to withhold that. So in that case, I will divide it by a number. Or if I have 30,000, I can't have 30,000 pipes in a cell. So basically, I divide it by a number which is in the range in order to see the values. So is equal to REPT. That's the name of the function. Open bracket. Open inverted commas, pipe, and close inverted commas. Now you may ask me that if I don't want pipe, can I use any other shape? Yes, definitely. You can also add a symbol like a smiley or an arrow in a cell and give reference to that as well. So you can even give an external reference to a cell here instead of giving the pipe. Comma, number of times. Number of times will decide how many times you want this to be repeated. Now, if I click on 97, can I have 97 in the cell? See what happens. Just look. Does it look appropriate? No. So what I do is I divide this by 10. See what happens automatically. And if I come to the corner and drag it down, it will apply to the whole range of cells. So basically, if you have a range of data and you just want to visually represent it in the adjoining column with like a barcode type structure like this to illustrate. So you can call this an extension to conditional formatting. We have data bars where we fill the cell with color based on the number in the cell. You can call this an extension to data bars where it will fill the cell based on the number which is selected, and obviously we will be dividing that number. Yes. So I will copy paste this in the chat. Also, one more thing, if you have noticed, the font style here is script. Now this looks the best with script, but even if you have Calibri, okay, it doesn't look that bad. So if you do not have script font, generally it is used with script font, but if you don't have that, you can also use Calibri. But make it bold in order to make it a little prompt. Please try. Please try. Please try this, everyone. Let me know whether it's working. You can even send screenshots or how it's looking. Are you all done? Have you all completed this, everyone? Would you like to try this with any other shape? Then I'll just show it to you quickly. So I'm going to select a cell. I will go to the Insert tab. And after clicking on the Insert tab, I'm going to come here and insert a symbol. I can insert any symbol of my choice. So I can come here. From here, let me choose see what symbols are there. So what I will do is I will come here and I will look for windings because windings generally has a lot of symbols. Yes. So from here, I'm going to take the symbol of this particular candle. Click on insert and say close. Now, I'm going to come here and I'm going to increase the size. Don't know if it's got inserted. Let me click here, symbol, click on candle, yes, insert, close. Okay, so the candle is inserted now here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do is equal to REPT, open one. Refer to the candle, comma. Select the number of visitors, divide by 10, close bracket, enter. Now you will see over here, the candle is repeated. Now why am I not seeing it? Because it is not in Windings font. When I choose Windings font, it will automatically convert it into that particular candle format. Make it bold, increase the font, and here you can see I have inserted the candle in this particular cell. So any shape, any symbol, anything can be inserted here, and then you can take it ahead. Please try this out, everyone, with a symbol, any symbol of your choice before we go ahead. Okay, let us go ahead. And this is one of the most interesting charts here, where we have two different chart styles in the same chart. I repeat, we have two different chart styles in the same chart. Now, how are we going to go about two different chart styles in the same chart? For that, as usual, we will first select the entire data. And after selecting the entire data, we are then going to choose a combo chart. The combo chart helps me to choose different chart styles in my same chart. So I could have a line chart. Along with line chart, I could have area chart. And along with area chart, I could also have a line with markers chart. So 2 or 3 different chart styles in the same chart is something which I can accomplish by using combo charts. For the purpose of this, I'm going to select the data. So this is my data, Control Shift and down arrow key. Select the data till the end. And after that, I'll scroll to the top of the data and see these are the 2 examples. So either I can have 3 different charts of different colors representing the 3 years, or I can create something like this. Go to Insert and under Combo Chart, choose a combo chart. By default, I will get a combo chart which shows 2 different charts. One is a column chart and the other is a line chart. After that, what I can do is I can click over here and I can further change all the 3 chart types to different charts. So for that, I can go to change chart type. Till now, we had not explored change chart type. Till now, we had not explored change chart type. But now we are going to click on change chart type, and here we are going to choose clustered column for the first one. For the second one, I'm going to choose an area chart. Can you see this? And for the third one, I can choose a line chart with markers. Or here, I could also choose a normal line chart. So I can have line chart and line chart with markers, all 3 in the same chart. I am not enabling the secondary axis here. I repeat, I am not enabling the secondary axis here because at the moment, there is no requirement for secondary axis. At the moment, there is no requirement for secondary axis. And that is why I am not enabling the secondary axis. The secondary axis can be used only when you have data which is needed to be plotted on 2 different axes. I repeat, if you have data which is needed to be plotted on 2 different axes, then you can use the secondary axis. Okay, click on OK, and here you have the data. Is it clear? Yes? Now, if you see the series 1, series 2 and the series 3, I repeat, if you see series 1, series 2 and series 3 are not exactly showing me 2009, 2010 and 2011. In order to make this modification, where will I go? I will have to go back to select data. When I go to select data here, I can come and I can choose the appropriate column header based on the data to which series 1, series 2 and series 3 is referring to. So click on series 1, click on edit and here choose the series name. This is column D, correct? Immediately you will see 2009 is being shown. click here, click on edit, click on 2010 to change the name, and finally click on series 3, which is the data for 2011. Click on edit, change the name to 2011, click here and save. Click on OK, and now you will see the labeling has been done appropriately. And now you will see the labeling has been done at, you will see that the labeling has been done appropriately. Please try this, everyone. Please try this, everyone. And if you have any doubts, any queries, or you want me to repeat this step, let me know that as well. Yes, sure, I will repeat. I'm going to delete the chart, select the chart and delete the chart. And the first step that I'm going to do is I'm going to select the data. After selecting the data, just one moment, I'll just put my laptop on charge. After selecting the data, I'm going to Control Shift down, select the whole data. And after that, I'll go to Insert. Under Insert, I will choose Combo Chart as the chart type. So there are two ways of selecting combo chart. Either go to Recommended Charts, and under Recommended Charts, under All Charts, go to Combo Chart. Or you can cancel this and from here directly go to Combo Chart. By default, you will get 3 different colors which are plotting the 3 different types of data, 3 different years of data. Moving this chart to the top, and now what I can do is I can come and I can change the chart type. By changing the chart type, I can choose a different chart for every year of data. I can choose a different chart for every year of data. So what I will do is I'm going to come to change chart type. And under change chart type, for series 1, I will remain with the option of clustered column. For series 2, I will choose line chart with markers. And for series 3, I will let it be a line chart. If I need to choose an area chart or any other chart, I can go ahead with it. But if you choose something very different like a scatter plot chart or something, it doesn't give very nice effect. This still you can draw some conclusion, but something like this would not make sense at all. So yes, you can go ahead with something like this. Okay. And click on OK. After that, what I am going to do is I'm going to select these series as the heading for my chart. I'm going to choose these series as the heading for my chart. In order to do that, I'm going to come here and I'm going to change the labels from series to the years relevant to the data. So click on select data, move this here, click on the series, click on edit, and from here I will choose the series name. Click on OK. So you can see the first name reflecting immediately as soon as I have taken the label. Click on series 2, click on edit, and now I'm going to take the second name of the series. Click on OK. And then for series 3, I will again click on edit, and here I'm going to take this particular color, that is the green. Now click on OK, and now you can see the color-wise instructions for each year's data plotted on this particular chart. Let me know if it's a little better now. In order to change the chart title, select the chart title, come to the formula bar, use the equal to sign, select this Timbuktu visitors, press enter, and from here it will directly pick up the name of the chart. Please try this, everyone. Let me scroll down. And here I have a classic example for secondary axis. Here I have a classic example for secondary axis. In this data, let us understand the data first. In this data, we have the months of the year. In column C, I have the number of visitors. And in column D, I have the percentage-wise number of visitors. I repeat, I have the percentage-wise number of visitors. Now, in order to plot this on a secondary chart or a combo chart, I need to select this whole data. Now, when I come here and under insert, if I click on recommended charts, you will immediately see the recommended charts. Click on OK, and this is plotted. Click on change chart type, and here you can see secondary axis is enabled. Suppose I don't enable the secondary axis. You will see that in this number value, both the charts are trying to get plotted. Now, along this number value axis, numeric values can definitely be plotted. But when it comes to percentage-wise values, they cannot be plotted over here. They cannot be plotted over here. And in order to take care of that, you need to give, in order to take care of that, you need to give a secondary axis, which will be an axis on the right side and will plot the values in percentage wise formatting. It will plot the values in percentage wise formatting. Click on secondary axis, and here I have a primary axis which has my values being plotted, and next to that I also have my secondary axis where my line chart is being plotted in percentage format. Click on OK, and here I have my data. Click on chart title, click here, say is equal to, and click on New Zealand visitors, hit enter, and here you can see the title has come into piece. The legend does not need to get edited because it has properly picked up the labels from column C and column D. Can you all please try this, everyone? This is a combo chart plus secondary axis. Whenever you have two different data sets being plotted, one in numeric, one in decimal, one in numeric, one in percentage, one in percentage, one in decimal, then you will need to enable the secondary axis because both the different number format types cannot get plotted on the same secondary axis. Please try this, everyone. Let me know if you all have completed this so that we can go ahead. This is yet another example of a combo chart where you have two bar charts plotted along the same axis. But this one is much better to read, the one with the line across. Let me know if you all complete so we can go ahead with the next type of chart, which is a chart with arrows. If anyone wants the secondary chart to get repeated, let me know. If you all are done, let us go ahead with this. Now, in this particular data, if you see, I have a chart. So, this is a chart. And in this particular chart, you will see the arrow going upwards if there is a positive development in terms of revenue in 2011 as compared to 2012, 2010. So if it is positive increment in 2011, you'll see the arrow going upwards. But if the revenue of 2011 is less than 2010, you will see the arrow taking a dip or the arrow in the downward direction. Firstly, for this, we will have to calculate the difference between these two values. There are two ways of calculating the difference. One way is equal to this value minus this value. This is one way. The other way is you can do is equal to 2011 divided by 2010 and minus 1 so that you will get it in percentage format. So if you are comfortable with 2011 minus 2010 to see if it has increased, you can go with this method. If you would like to see the increase or the decrease in percentage format, then you can go with this particular method. I repeat, if you want to see the difference, okay, in values, you can do this minus this. If you want to see it in terms of percentage, then you can see it in this manner is equal to this value divided by this value minus 1. Can you please try this, everyone? I'm putting in the formulas in the chat box. We are on the next sheet now, which is called chart with arrows. We are on the next sheet now, which is called chart with arrows. Now, once you do this, you can drag it down to copy the formula across the range. Now, the first step which we need to do in order to create this particular chart with arrows is we need to place the arrows here and then write an if condition, making one arrow the true value and another arrow the false value. So in order to write the condition, we first need to give the symbol here. We first need to give the symbol here. In order to assign the symbol here, I'm going to go to insert and under insert, under symbol, I will choose the arrow going upwards. At one time, you can only insert one symbol and close it. Go to the next cell and here I will insert the arrow going downwards. For that, I'll again click on symbol, choose the downward arrow, click on insert and click on close. Now I have my true value for my if condition and I also have my false value for my if condition. So here I have my true value and here I have my false value for my if condition. Then I'm going to come here and now I'm going to write the function. I'm going to zoom a bit so that you can see the function a little more clearly. Since it is a function or a formula, we will always begin with an equal to sign. We'll write if open bracket. If you have written numeric value, you can refer to the number value. If you have written values in the percentage format, you can refer to this. In either case, you can refer to either this cell or this cell. Suppose I refer to this cell, I will say if this is greater than 0, that means I am looking for instances where the value F25 is positive in nature, where the value F25 is positive in nature. Sure. I'll just show you how to insert the arrow symbol. Take a blank cell, click on insert, and under insert we have symbols, and here I can insert the symbol. Click on the arrow symbol, click on insert and close. So here I have my first arrow symbol. Click on the second cell, again go to symbol, and if you don't see the arrow symbol, choose subset arrows from here. If you don't see the arrow symbol, you can choose the subset arrows. For sure, you will get the arrow symbols then. Now I will insert the second arrow symbol, which is the downward arrow. Click on insert and say OK. Here I have both my arrow symbols. Here I have both my arrow symbols. Now I'm going to begin by writing my if condition. I repeat, here I'm going to begin by writing my if condition. Begin with an equal to sign, write if and open the bracket. Begin with an equal to sign, write if and open the bracket. Now, if you want to refer to the numeric value cell, you can refer to the numeric value cell. If you want to refer to the percentage value cell, you can refer to the percentage value cell. For now, I'm going to refer to the number value cell. After that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say if this number value cell is greater than 0. What do I mean by greater than 0? If it is positive in nature. If it is positive in nature, comma, click on the upward arrow. That means if it is in positive in nature, I want the arrow moving in the upward direction. Now, when I give the reference to this particular arrow, since I'm going to come to the corner and drag this formula down, I do not want the reference of my arrow to change. I repeat, since I'm going to come to the corner of the cell and drag the formula down, I do not want the reference of the arrow to change. So for that, I'm going to use function F4 and lock the cell with the arrow inside. I'm going to use function F4 to lock the cell with the arrow symbol, comma, select the false value, and again, because I'm going to drag the formulae down, I will need to lock this cell as well with the arrow. Close the bracket, hit enter, and here I have the downward arrow. Why? Because this particular cell is negative in nature and hence it is displaying the false value. This particular cell is negative in nature and hence it is displaying this arrow pointing downwards. Come to the corner and drag it down. Now what I'm going to do is, now we are going to select this data and plot it on a column chart like this. So in order to plot it, we are going to select it and then go and insert. But before that, I want you to take a note of this particular if condition. I want you to take a note of this particular if condition and let me know when you complete it so I proceed. I do not want you to miss out on any step. That is why when you are done, let me know. Have you all completed the formula, everyone? Has everyone completed the formula? Let me know, then I can go ahead with the chart. Okay, in order to create the chart, I'm going to take the salesperson column and the year 2010 and the year 2011. After that, I will go and I will insert my chart. Under recommended charts, I will get the option to choose the chart which I want to insert. I can go ahead and click on it and click on OK. Now this has inserted my chart, but I have not got my arrow markers. This has inserted my chart, but I have not got my arrow markers. Now, if you know, the arrow markers are a part of data labels. Under chart design, we have something under chart element called data labels. This is what data labels do. They put the label of the amount either in between the chart, on the inside edge, on the outside base, outside end, or in the form of a column. For now, I'm going to insert data labels, okay, at the outside end and then modify them. Or I can go into more data labels and then insert the data labels. I like to generally insert them on the outside end. And then from this plus sign of chart elements, I like to go and say data labels, more options. So here you can see the data labels. Here you can see the data labels. What are data labels? The value which is plotted on the axis, they give you the numeric value on the graph plot. I repeat, the value of the item which has been plotted, they give you in the form of a number value. Click on the red bars, and here I am going to say under label options, I will say value from cells. This value from cells is the most important option when it comes to data labels. This gives you the flexibility of specifying a column which you would like to consider as your data labels. This gives you the flexibility of specifying a column which you would like to consider as your data labels. Click on value from cells, and now over here I will choose this arrow range. I repeat, I will choose this arrow range. Click again over here and I will say OK. Then I will remove the values because I only want the arrow. Close it and you can see the arrow markers. But on the year 2010, you can still see data labels, which I do not want. So I will hit the delete. In order to make these data labels more prominent, I will select all of them, make it bold, and then increase the font size. And here I have my data labels in the form of arrow markers, either showing an increase or a decrease in terms of values of the year 2011 when compared to the year 2010. These are data labels which we enabled initially from data labels, and then we went into more data label option where we went and provided a particular column of values to map instead of the regular data labels. Please try this, everyone. Please try this, everyone. Let me know if you need anything to be repeated or if you have any questions or queries. Once you do it, I want you all to share screenshots of the chart in the chat box, please, everyone. Once you complete it, I want screenshots of the chart in the chat box, please. Let me know if you all have completed, and I want to see screenshots or snapshots of your chart in the chat box, please, everyone. Or if anyone wants to share their screen, let me know that as well so that I can check your chart online. Anyone has any questions or queries, or if anyone wants anything to be repeated, let me know. Otherwise, I will go ahead with the next type of chart, which is called as sparkle line. So sparkle line is the next type of chart. What is a sparkle line? A sparkle line is a tiny in-cell chart. Now, if I ask you a question, do you think that you can arrive at any conclusion using a sparkle line? You cannot generate any insights from your data, but if you are presenting your data, it is a visually appealing manner in which you can use a sparkle line in order to represent your data. Sparkle line is a tiny in-cell chart which plots the data in a single cell. So if you've got 10 entries or 12 entries or 7 entries, you can't plot 100 items in a sparkle line. But yes, if you have less than 15 or 20 entries, they can be comfortably plotted in a sparkle line. Can you draw conclusions from a sparkle line chart? The answer is no. You cannot draw conclusion from a sparkle line chart. You cannot draw conclusion, but from a sparkle line chart, what you can do is you can basically use it to present your data in a visually appealing in a more graphical, in a more interactive manner. There are three types of sparkle line charts. When you click on insert, under sparkle lines, you have line. This is an example of a line sparkle line chart. You have column. This is an example of a column sparkle line chart. And then you have the win and loss sparkle line chart. Out of the three, the win and loss sparkle line chart is the one which is the most ambiguous in terms of data representation. Why have I referred to it as ambiguous? Because all positive values in the win and loss chart are of same height, and all negative values in the win and loss chart are of same height. So positive values are also of same height. Negative values are also of the same height in case of the win and loss chart. So in order to use the win and loss chart, if you just want to see an overview, okay, these are positive values, these are negative values, that is the only circumstance in which probably I would suggest that you could opt for a win and loss chart. While a column chart and a line chart is quite visually appealing, and you actually get an idea of how many values are positive, what is the height of the positive values, what is the height of the negative values. But it doesn't tell you what is the exact height of the value. So you cannot say, okay, this is 100, this is 3,300, this is minus 25, this is 2064. So you cannot say which value is what. It just plots it at different heights. But yes, you can color the positive values, the highest positive value with a particular color. The lowest negative value also can be colored with a particular color. In order to use the sparkle line chart, I am first going to select my data, and then under sparkle line, I'll click on line. First, it will ask me, choose the data that you want. So if you see, I have referred to the data range E6 to E17, and it has selected that particular data range for me. Then in the second part, it is asking me, choose where you want the sparkle lines to be placed. Choose where you want the sparkle lines to be placed. And here in location range, I can choose a location where I want the sparkle line to be placed. Click on OK. And here I have my sparkle line. Now, a lot of formatting can be done in terms of the sparkle line. Let me increase the size a little bit. Firstly, I can plot with markers. That means for every point which is plotted, I will get a dot. The dot color here is a red color, but if I want, I can change the marker color to yellow. And you will see that the dots are now yellow in color. Click again on the sparkle line. If you don't want all the points to be plotted, you can plot the first point, last point, and you can plot the negative and the high. So high point is plotted, this is my highest point. Lowest point is plotted, this is my lowest point. And these are the other starting and ending point of my sparkle line. If I want to come here and change the sparkle line color, I can change the color of my sparkle line. I can also come here and I can change the weight of my sparkle line if I want to make it thicker. So I can come here and I can see sparkle line weight and I can make it thicker. Now this thickness is a little too much. So I will go back to sparkle line and I will come to sparkle line, click on weight, and I will change the thickness. After clicking and changing the thickness, this is my line sparkle line. Every time it is selected, I will get the sparkle line and I can make changes to it. If I want to remove the sparkle line, I can clear the selected sparkle line. So when I want to clear it, I can't use the keyboard to delete it. I will have to use clear sparkle line. Please try this, everyone. Please try this, everyone. If anyone has any questions or queries, you can let me know. If you want to change this particular sparkle line, if you want to change this particular sparkle line into a column chart, all you have to do, click on column chart, it will change to column chart. If you click on win-loss, it will change to win-loss. Please try this. Let me know if you all have completed, everyone. Let me know if you all have completed. Then I will show you how to do the column chart. In order to create the column chart for win and loss, you can also begin by selecting an empty cell. Then go to insert and choose column chart in sparkle lines. Here it will ask me, choose the data that you want. So I'm going to come here, and from here I will choose the data range. Click again here, and here they will ask me, choose where you want the sparkle lines to be placed. I have already set the location to cell H15. Click on OK, and here I have my column chart being placed. If I want in this particular chart as well, I can show certain values in different colors. So if I go into marker color, the high point can be set to a red color. The low point can be set to an orange color. And I can also set the first point to light blue and the last point to light blue. So basically, I can give color here to these items within the sparkle line. In sparkle line, I can also go into axis, and if I want to show the axis, I can just click on show axis. It will give you the demarcation above which it shows positive values and below which it is showing you negative values. Please try this column chart in sparkle line. Please try this column chart in sparkle line. Once you've completed this, let me know in the chat box. And then we're going to try this particular chart, which is a spider chart or a radar chart as we call it. And we have used this logo over here in order to plot the points. We have used this logo over here to plot the points. If instead of this logo, you want to use any other image, so I can go to insert, pictures, this device, I can insert any other image as well, which I would like to place over here. So I can go to desktop, and if I have any logo, I can use that logo in order to plot. So for example, if I'm going to take a particular logo, something like this, okay, I can come here and I can reduce this in size, or alternatively, I can crop this logo and I can use this logo. So here I can crop the logo and I can use the logo as well. Or you can use any other image that you have, or you can use any particular demarcation that you would like to use to plot your data. In order to use this particular chart, I am going to select the data. Now, an important point I want to tell you about the data is I have used random numbers. So if you see, I have used random between. So every time I press enter, you will see my data jumping because the number values will change, because in many cells, the numbers are not values, but they are random numbers. In order to make these fixed values, I can select them. I can copy them, and then I can paste them in the form of values. Now these numbers are fixed. They are not random numbers between two values. And now these numbers will not jump every time I copy paste the logo or make any change to my chart. So what I did was I copied the data, then I did a paste as values. By doing so, what I'm doing is I am getting values pasted here instead of random numbers. Select the whole data, go to insert, and under recommended charts, under all charts, I will go to radar charts. Under radar chart, I will choose radar chart with markers. This will give me a radar chart with marker points where I will copy paste my logo. So the first step is choose a radar chart with markers, click on OK, and it will place your radar chart here. After that, what I can do is I can copy this and I will come to all these points. When I click one point, all points will get selected. I repeat, when I choose a radar chart or any other chart with markers, when I choose one marker point, it selects all markers. Then all I have to do is copy the symbol and paste. As soon as I do a paste, at all pointers or at all markers which were selected, it has pasted the logo and given me my radar chart with markers. Please try this, everyone. And if you want it to be repeated, let me know. I'm not getting any response from all of y'all. Are y'all still there in the meeting? No one is saying repeat. No one is saying understood. No one is saying okay. Okay, thank you. Please try this radar chart with markers, everyone. Okay, everyone has completed this. Any questions, any queries? Oh, let me take a new sheet and now let me talk about macro. Macro, okay, is supposed to be the coding aspect of MS Excel, where we use it to automate tasks. If I look for the definition of a macro, it is basically a single command which, when run, performs a series of steps or tasks. So basically, it is a single command. The command is one, but it is performing, or it is repeating multiple set of instructions that have been assigned to it. Now, by default, whenever you create a macro, we create an absolute reference macro. By default, when I create a macro, it is always an absolute reference macro. That is, the macro is always going to be run on the same series of cells. However, before we start recording a macro, the first thing which we need to do is we need to enable the developer tab. Now you may ask me that in the absence of the developer tab, can I use macro? Yes. Under view tab also you have a macro section. Under view tab also you have a macro section from where you can go and record the macro. So click on macro, call it report. You can assign a keyboard shortcut along with it. Now, if I attach C with control, or like a control C, or a control A, or a control V, it will clash with my regular keyboard shortcuts. I repeat, if I attach any keyboard shortcut along with it, it will clash with my regular keyboard shortcuts. So what I will do is I will use Shift along with it, and then I will enable the macro. So it is Control Shift A, and then it can run my macro. Click on OK. And now if you see over here, stop recording macro is being shown. And here again, you will see stop recording macro under the view tab. What does this mean? That now the macro is being recorded. The macro will record every step of yours. It will record your scrolling. It will record your clicking. It will record your selection. It will record your typing. It will record your deleting. It will record everything. But what will it not record? Your mouse movement. Mouse movement is the only thing that the macro does not record. Other than that, even if you minimize and maximize your screen, the macro even records those steps. Now I'm making a simple report, so I'm going to select this. Go to the Home tab, yellow fill, bold, italic, underline, all borders, and I will click here to stop recording the macro. You can also click here to start recording. Now you will ask me that I did bold, italic, underline, but it is not showing me. That is because currently there is no text in this particular selected area. If I write name, product, cost, quantity, you will see that the choice in terms of formatting, which I have made, that is your bold, italic, and underline, they have been executed over these range of cells. When I record a macro, which is an absolute cell reference macro, it will always run on the same series of data. So click here, go to view, and under view, click on view macros, click on the macro and say run. It will run over the same range on which it was created. So by default, it is always an absolute reference macro which is created. If you don't want an absolute reference macro, that means I want a macro which will run in the cell where I'm active, I need to record a relative cell reference macro. In a relative cell reference macro, the location is not fixed, but the location depends upon the cell which is active or the cell which is selected. So if I'm in M2, And the macro is a relative reference macro, it will run in M2. If I'm in P3, it will run in P3. Let us try something simple. So I'm going to come here in macro, click on relative reference, again click on macro and say record macro. I just hope relative reference is enabled. And I'm going to click on record macro. Macro, I'll call it RELMACRO. I can also call it highlight. Assign the keyboard shortcut Control Shift Z. Say OK. Now, since the macro is recording, I will come here, select blue fill, give an border, that is a bottom border, and I will stop recording the macro. What has happened in the macro? Bottom border, blue fill. Which type of macro is this? Relative reference. So if I come here and I do Control Shift Z, it will apply here. Come in this cell, Control Shift Z, it will apply here. Select the range, do Control Shift Z, it will apply across the range. Let me come to another sheet, which is the match and index sheet. Select a row and do Control Shift Z, it will apply here. Select another row, Control Shift Z, it will apply here. So a relative cell reference macro will apply within the selected cells, or if you may call it active cells, or if you may call it clicked cells. So wherever you are, it will apply there. So it doesn't have a specific address where it is going to apply like absolute. It is not fixed. It is very, very fluid, and it depends entirely on you. What you select, where you click, or which is the cell, which is the active cell in which you are. So basically, I have tried to give you a glimpse of macros. What is the use of macro? How you can automate simple highlighting tasks using macro. When you would use an absolute cell reference macro, and when you would use a relative cell reference macro. If you have any questions or queries, you can let me know. And if you would like to share any feedback about the training, you can put it in the chat box. The session has got recorded. I will send you the link to the entire playlist for all the sessions. So in case you missed out, you can join the pieces of the puzzle by going through the video. Please let me know if you want anything to be repeated, or if you have any questions or queries, or in future sessions, if you would like any topics to be covered in order to help us design the course that would be beneficial for your team in order to empower them. Sure, definitely. I will be sending the entire playlist link. Every session has been recorded, and within the description, you'll also get the details of the session. Anyone, any questions, any queries, any topic that you all want me to repeat or review, or any concept or anything else that you all would like to ask with regard to Excel or advanced Excel? I'll stop recording the session, and I guess